Last week I was in La Crosse, Wisconsin, poking around Lynn Tower, formerly the Hotel Linker, and we were visiting all because of a newspaper clipping I saw about the world's tallest man, Robert Wadlow, visiting La Crosse in 1939. I spent the video learning more about Robert and his visit to the area, and one of the newspapers mentions that he was touring on behalf of the St. Louis Shoe Company and stopped in Viroqua and West Salem before coming to La Crosse. I figured the next point of interest would be Viroqua since I have pretty good connections in the area, and probably the best place to stop would be the Vernon County Historic Society. At the Historic Society, the kind folks there provided me with a few newspaper clippings as well as some never-before-seen photos, and I believe this article gives us a good starting point. Let's give it a listen.
World's tallest man dines in city. Some man was a visitor in Westby Tuesday, he and his father stopping long enough to eat dinner. The Mickelson restaurant was the most popular place in town. In the meantime, people by the scores, young and old, gathering in and in front of the place to get a glimpse of the reputedly tallest man in the world, Robert Wadlow, a resident of Illinois. Wadlow was on his way to Viroqua, where he was to appear as guest of a store. He was just an ordinary-looking baby when he was born 21 years ago, weighing 8.5 pounds. At the age of 6 months, he weighed 30 pounds, and at 9 years, he was 6 feet tall and weighed 180 pounds. Now, he stands 8 feet 8.5 inches in his stocking feet and weighs 491 pounds. He wears a size 37 shoe, 19 inches long, and he is still growing. His father was an ordinary size person. They travel together, receiving $50 from business places that sponsor the exhibition. The boy has received numerous fancy offers from circuses, but his mother objects to acceptance of them.
And here we are in Westby, Wisconsin, home to the Mickelson restaurant, which is now Borgen's Cafe. It's still there, the building's still there, you can go there. Unfortunately, they were closed when I pulled up today. Now, let's hop in the car and drive on over to Viroqua.
A look at the largest man in the world certainly drew the people of this community together at Viroqua Tuesday afternoon from 1:30 to 2:30. Robert Wadlow was the man, 8 feet 8.25 inches tall and weighing 491 pounds. He wears size 37 shoes and was brought here by the Woodward store to advertise Peter's Shoes, the brand of shoes that he wears. It is estimated that close to 3,000 people crowded the street in front of the Woodward store to get a view of the giant. Wadlow stood up, and $1 was offered to anyone who could touch the crown of his head. Slim Olson, Viroqua's tallest man, height 6 feet and 7 inches, attempted to do so, but could not make it.
And so here I am in Viroqua with the photos lining up the area, and I think I found it on Court Street. Look how closely these two photos line up. Here's Woodward's, and here's where the building currently sits, and it's right on the end of the Phlox building right there on the left. Check out the old ghost writing on the roof here. I can't really quite make out what it says. The building's currently occupied by a few businesses. One in particular, though, is close to home. Aptiv, which is a nonprofit that helps people with disabilities find jobs, help develop skills for living and learning and working within our communities. And, you know, someone like Robert might have been able to benefit from a program like Aptiv, and I myself have found jobs through Aptiv. So it's kind of a coincidence that Robert was right in front of this building here. Right across the street from here is the Fortney Hotel, and we'll do a video there at some point when I get a little more information, when I've researched it a bit more. There's some really cool stuff at the Fortney Hotel, and I'd love to check it out. I've also found out some more information about underground Prohibition-era La Crosse downtown secret stories, and I really want to look into those. But right now, we're going to go from Viroqua back to Westby to check out a new antique store that I've never been before called the Big Red Shed. And I've been told by a lot of people to check this place out, so let's take a look and see what they have inside. These are kind of giving Coney Island steeplechase face vibes. What do you think? Oh, and hey, look, a Bulbasaur planter. I'm gonna use this to put some plants in here, maybe some aloe plants or something. And of course, the classic Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus poster. We got some Austin Powers action figures. Ooh, and some Nerf guns, and it looks like a Lego fire truck. And I'm loving this pile of 80s and 90s nostalgia. Just look at all these stuffed animals and the Atari 5200. That's really cool to see in the wild. A lot of the old electric toys, those are pretty cool. Battery-powered toys. Then, of course, you got all your 80s and 90s plastic toys like those NSYNC dolls back there. Or check out the California Raisins just sitting up here. Wallace and Gromit, and of course the Big Mouth Billy Bass. But look at all these old games and stuff, all these old gaming systems. You got the NES, the Sega Genesis. That's really cool to see out in the wild. Let's keep heading down here. Each of these little nooks here, they're all individual vendors. They're all different people, so different tastes in antiques. Let's take a look and see what each of these rooms has to offer. I want to go in this room. It looks really funky back here. A lot of 70s and 60s decor. Oh, look at this pinball machine. That's kind of retro. I love that. And of course, we've got our first Murano Glass Clown. Unfortunately, this one's missing its bow tie. It appears to have broken. Oh well, it would have been a cool one though. And then of course we have this carousel horse. It's got Prince Charming and Cinderella both on it. And this grotesque over here. No, it's not a gargoyle. Gargoyles have drainage in the mouth. Some wigs and hats. Oh, and me. Hi everybody. Let's head into this back room that makes this building even bigger. Alright, we have a whole lot of space to explore, so let's get digging. I'm gonna start in the back corner and work my way all the way around here. Just so much to look at, so much random stuff on each shelf. No rhyme or reason, each one is unique. We got a lot of Christmas stuff over here, some sports memorabilia, but the first thing I noticed is this American Bisque Clown on Phlox cookie jar. In fact, this whole room was full of different clown things. They got some Emmett Kelly statues, some random clown porcelain statues. I'm kind of trying to get out of the porcelain statue collecting thing though. I'm trying to get more focused on the clown dolls themselves. And then over here, look at this. It's Donald Duck. Although his beak looks a little bit broken. And here's a police officer clown. We've got a radio. Let's head on out here and keep looking. What is... Oh man, is this a quail? I think this is a quail inside of a light. I've never seen that done before. That looks really unique. They've got a shelf of pressed steel and die-cast cars back here. As well as some pedal cars. Also, if you're visiting this place, don't wear heels like I did. These floors are a little bit unstable. They're just wooden planks, and some of them are very creaky and wobbly, so make sure you wear good shoes. Also, look at this Royal Crown Cola, the RC Cola sign. Classic vintage advertising, I love it. Wobbly leg Santa Claus over here. Let's check behind the staircase. Maybe there's something cool back here that someone missed. Or just a mostly empty shelf. Okay. Let's keep going on in here. There's a lot of places that have vintage clothes. I'm not really big on the vintage clothes department. I really like the advertisements though, you can see on some of the walls. And of course we run into the whole Blushing Apple cookie jar. At $9 though, that's a pretty good steal. Lots of cool glassware in here and ceramicware. One of my favorites, though, being these Anchor Hawking Fire King Kimberly diamond patterned mugs. I love these. I love this old hand-painted drum head from the United Trades concert band. That's pretty cool. I wonder what kind of songs were played on this instrument here. Lots of music items in this room. I really love the art of Margaret Keane, and so this really stood out to me. Obviously this is a repro because it's on felt and she didn't do this one on felt, but I love her art and it's definitely inspired by her for sure. I love hand-painted typography, and this is no exception. The Wisconsin School of Ballet sign and some weird little metal contraptions underneath it. Lots of cool stuff in here. In fact, this looks like an old spotlight, maybe from a theater. Very old school spotlight. There's even a smaller one down here. Some gauges, 1460 street signs. Oh, they got lots of street signs in here. And we still have so much to go. We're only on the first floor. Let's keep going. Oh, look at this old TV. That's actually really cool looking. And another spotlight. I guess those are pretty popular to come by here. James Dean movie poster. Some old comic books, Hot Rods, Creepy. I noticed this back here on the floor, some Disney nostalgia. Lady and the Tramp. I never really watched Lady and the Tramp too much though, so I'm not too familiar what scene that's from, or if that's even from the film. Some old movie posters. I love the old movie posters, especially those westerns. Those look really cool. Some wood back here if you're crafting maybe, that you could use some of these wood slices. It's really cold back here, by the way. There is no air conditioning in here, so if you're coming during the winter, make sure you bring a coat and some gloves. And of course some boots, because there's not a lot of flooring here. And this, in fact, this area was dirt flooring. This ominous doll staring off into the distance. There's lots of old tools back here, like saws and swords and things. Kind of looks like a murder scene. Little scary in here. Alright, let's head over to the Broom and Crow booth over here. I did notice some Pokemon. You got Snorlax over here and a crocheted Gengar as well. I love the color scheme of the Gengar. And over here, they have a table full of bones for whatever you would need bones for. Let's get out of here. Okay, Folk Rock Festival poster, that's pretty cool. And this monkey thing, it's a little horrifying, but I kind of like things that are organically horrifying. It adds to their charm. We've got a reproduction, coin bank, the Uncle Sam one, of course. It's good if you don't want to pay the couple $100s for the actual one. And these cool little store window displays, I think they are. Those little babies, they look like they were store window displays. I love these barrel chairs. That's such a clever idea to repurpose some barrels. Now let's head upstairs. We haven't been upstairs yet, and I haven't been greeted by a SpongeBob pinata. Actually, I take that back. Okay, I've now been greeted by a SpongeBob pinata. Okay, I see a familiar face over here. It's Ben Olafson from The Puzzle Place. I used to love this show as a kid. Now I'm contemplating if I want to collect the Puzzle Place characters. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to collect clown statues, but I never see female clowns, and this one is so cute in the dress here. I'm actually going to take her home with me because I think she's really cool. Up here they have a lot of blow molds, which, you know, these are a lot of the common ones I've seen before. Some Easter ones, they got some Halloween ones, they got a lot of the baby Jesus, and they got the nativity scene, some gingerbread man. And even though the tag says it's a gargoyle, it is a grotesque. There's no hole in the mouth. That'd be a cool one for Halloween though. And then we got some more Santas, we got some Winnie the Pooh Santa Claus, some nutcrackers, some pumpkins and candles. I'm also curious what the heck those are over there. I am seeing some skeletons and mummies over there. I'm really curious to go check that side out. But we've only just started on this side. We haven't even finished the second half of this side, so let's keep going. Ooh, an old ashtray stand. It needs a little metal ashtray in there, but that looks really cool. You'd see those in like old hotel lobbies, kind of like the Linker Hotel. This unusual shaped teapot here. Ooh, I see another circus poster. This one's a Shiner Circus. This one's happening in La Crosse, so nearby. Oh, hello. What? I love finding bags of McDonald's toys, and honestly, if it wasn't so cold, I would sit here and just look through all of them. But it was terribly cold upstairs, and I was underprepared, so I didn't get a chance to sift through them, but I definitely would if I were you. I'm seeing some things in here that I recognize, and some of these things actually bring some good money on eBay if you break them up individually. That's a pretty cool find. There is a pile of Mickeys here, some of them vintage, some of them modern. Lots of stuff, even lawn chairs, home supplies. You really gotta dig through this place to find all the goodies. We're definitely gonna have to come back here at another time and do a more thorough look through. But hit the like button if you're enjoying this video, and also hit the subscribe button if you want more videos like this in your feed. Definitely gotta watch your step here though. There's a lot of just little boards laying on the floor, and that is your floorway. Oh, look at this tiny record player. If you like vintage clothes, I highly recommend digging through here. There's so many little booths full of vintage clothes here. What is this weird donkey head made out of leather? This is so interesting. It's missing an ear. Lots of little retro trinket toys here. I wasn't seeing any big action figures though, just a little pocket toys, little smalls. Nothing too crazy. Once again though, lots of clothing racks. That is one cool cow. And now we have this whole side to go down here, so let's keep going. I see some Snoopies. Lots of holiday booths here. I'm not crazy into the holiday stuff. Lots of VHS tapes and some Xbox games. If you have an Xbox, maybe you'll see some games you need. Maybe a little bird cage for a parakeet down there? I might be getting some birds soon. That's a little too small for what I'm planning. I'm actually planning on getting a pair of doves, and ever since my dove Ditto passed away a few years ago, I've really missed having them around, so I decided this time I would get a pair. Look at that, you could start a washboard band. I like this old poster. Okay, now here's the weird one we were looking at. Let's take this all in for a second. Holy cow. Look at all this. Let's get a closer look. There's some baby dolls. Some wooden carvings. Ooh, bleeding children eyes. Some weird stuff in here. Look at these butterflies. That's pretty cool. And of course we got some mummies. We got a Cleopatra head back here. This interesting baby jar. And a baby lantern. Baby spices. Is that a Spice Girl reference? Some medical posters. This one seems to be about eyeballs. Interesting stuff here. Oh, is this a clown in a box? Oh, no, it's just an empty box. And while we were leaving, Ivy pointed out, more Murano glass clowns. I have to go back and get this one. It's so cute. Look at them. Both of them are so cute. And this one too. Oh my goodness, they're both so cute. Well, I had such a great time following Robert Wadlow around. I think that's going to conclude this series. I might go to West Salem sometime in the future, but I'll save that for a warmer season. And next week, I'm not even sure where I'm going, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you find out as soon as I know. And also give this video a thumbs up, or check out one of these awesome videos too. I'll see you next time.